Hey everybody, how are you? This is Suzette Speaks. So happy that you're joining us on this beautiful Saturday. We're Facebook Living. As you can tell, I'm almost losing my voice, so I'm gonna let this beautiful woman do most of the talking today. I want you guys to make sure you like, comment, and share our video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. There's a thing out there where people actually do videos while they're eating food. I'm not used to eating in front of people, but we're gonna try it and have like what we would like a normal girl's lunch, and see how that goes. So don't judge me. I don't like to talk with food in my mouth, so I'm not gonna do that. But hopefully, what's the name of it? What do you call it?
Mukbang.
A mukbang. Apparently, this is popular in Korea. I don't know nothing about Korea. I'm from Miami, by way of Jamaica. But I hope you enjoy us, and I'm going to introduce you to this lovely woman. Her name is Miss Stacy Rose. She's an actress, radio host, producer, so many different things. And I'm so glad she's here with me on a Saturday just to kick it and talk. And while we do, I gotta give a little plug. You know that we bring you interesting people and places, and today we're at drumroll, Island in the Pines restaurant. Island in the Pines. Yummy restaurant. They're gonna be bringing us some food. Oh, she's coming right now to bring us some food. Yeah, it's your cue. Let's go. This ain't no commercial, but I gotta love to show people love when they allow us to do the show in different places. It's at the corner of University. Thank you. University and Pines Boulevard, and we're gonna be experiencing Caribbean food today, all right? Different Caribbean dishes. You know, in South Florida, we like our Caribbean culture and food. So, what do we have here?
Escabeche chicken wings.
Escabeche chicken wings.
Wow.
You didn't know, now you know. Thank you. And we're gonna be just having a good time. It's an easy breezy day. It is hot outside. I don't know where you are around the world, but where we are is like, oh wait, hey, the playback. Can we turn off the volume? So, as you can see, we really are live. So, Stacy Rose, tell us about yourself.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you so very much for having me. This is going to be so much fun.
Exactly.
And hello to everyone who's tuning in on Jamaicans.com, or if you're just live on Facebook and you happen to peruse past here and you just happen to see us, hang out with us for the next few minutes.
Yeah. Thank you for dropping by.
Yeah.
So I bring in the best people, clearly, and I always want to kind of give people an idea of, various paths people take to where they're going in life, because you don't always start out doing what you end up doing. You don't always have the degree in what you're doing. Sometimes you don't have no degree at all, but there are wonderful ways that I call God allows us to kind of end up where we end up. So there's no wrong path. The path that you're taking is designed for you, and I really believe that we can learn from one another's journeys.
Absolutely.
So again, sorry for my voice. I've been working, hosting.
Your voice sounds raspy.
I sound kind of like
sexy,
Beyonce.
Yeah. So
the Queen Bee.
own it.
But I usually don't sound so hoarse, but it's all good. So who is Stacy Rose?
Wow. Good question. Who is Stacy Rose? So I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. Spent the first 15 years of my life there, and came here to the U.S. Joined my family, like so many others.
We're in Kingston. I love to
Barbican, East
Square.
Kings Road.
Yay! Okay, very good.
So a lot of people say they're from Kingston, and they ask them what part of Kingston. They're like,
they can't tell you.
Havertree.
Havertree, exactly. So,
so from Barbican.
Oh, wonderful.
Wonderful. I have lots of fond memories of growing up there. Family home is still there. Still go back there.
Grandma
still there. Turned 97.
No way. Good genes, baby. Good genes.
Amazing. So I'm hoping,
Yeah, no, it's good.
So I have lots of family there still. So I go back, once a year if I can.
Yeah.
And live here with family. So many family members moved
She's
here.
married.
Yep, married.
Tell your business.
Right?
For
12 years now. Seems like yesterday. To a great man who's my best friend. And we have 2 children. My son is almost 10, and my daughter just turned 7. Them just born, the other day, and they're ready for college already.
So exciting, so exciting.
Yeah.
So working mom.
Yeah.
So you got a handful with the kids, and again, we are in a restaurant. So in case you gonna eat the food?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Eat the
this
food, man.
Pineapple ginger drink is bananas. It is amazing.
Hey, saying hi to Heather. Thank you for checking in. Nice cool breeze weather in NYC. Karen, I wish I got in the car. I had sweat all in my hair, and I was like, these people gonna see the sweat on my face.
Trust me.
But it's summertime, and we gotta give thanks, for the beautiful skies and all the beautiful blessings that come with summer. So I want to talk about you're coming to U.S. How old were you? You said 15?
Yeah, I was 15. Just left high school. Just graduated from high school. Just did
Where
the
high school did you go
CXC,
to?
St. Hugh's High.
St.
Fidelitas, all the St. Hugh's girls.
So St. Hugh's girl.
St. Hugh's High.
And so you came up here, and where did you
Went to Miami-Dade.
Oh, so you went right to Miami?
Went right to Miami-Dade, and you know that in Jamaica, I guess when you leave high school at that age, they really want to send you back to high school here.
That is the story of so many people that
Right.
they were done with high school, but then it came to the United States and they had to start over.
Right.
That sucks.
And
so did you?
No, my parents said no. She can manage college. I wanted to go away, you know, watching years of different world. I know, but I said no. You're going to Miami-Dade, which was
Okay.
great. A great choice.
Community college.
Community college.
Okay, cool.
So I spent 2 years there, and then went to Florida State. Florida State.
I'm sitting next to a Seminole.
Yes, indeed. Proud.
I'm a Gator.
Well, I
If y'all
won't
don't
hold
know-
that against you. I mean, you're really great. You would
Oh,
never
listen.
know that she was a Gator.
I like all people, but Seminoles, it just depends.
Yeah.
On
We get
certain-
along.
Hey,
I
we can
guess
get
so,
along today.
yeah.
Yeah, we do get along. But for you guys who don't know, Florida school rivalries are huge. In the south of the United States, it's huge. So
True.
we went to opposing schools.
Yeah.
So very good. Did you study acting there?
I minored in theater. I majored
you?
in international business and marketing. My parents, you know, typical Jamaican parents said, "What? You want to study what? Acting?
No.
Get a real something." So I studied business.
Oh,
And
really?
it made sense. I'm glad that they forced me to do that. Forced, you know, really strongly. They encouraged me to do that because it gave me more options, you know.
Okay.
So I minored in theater. I toured for a little bit with the Black Players Guild there at Florida State, and studied business in the daytime and was on stage at night. And,
So I'm wondering, was there any cultural awakening that happened to you leaving Jamaica around that tender age,
Yeah.
15, 16, and then going straight to Miami-Dade and then going to FSU?
was
Is there any rough transition or natural transition that occurred for you?
it was actually pretty rough, I must say. It
Really?
was pretty rough.
What was different? What was difficult?
I think just jumping into the culture that way. I mean, I would come every summer when I was growing up, but then just being thrown into the school system and dealing with so many different people from so many different backgrounds.
Right.
The language was rough for me initially. You know, I had a hard time
Understanding American English.
understanding the American Ebonic,
Yeah. a little bit of slang.
tongue,
Right.
and just the culture, just the way of thinking, the way of doing things was different from what I knew in Jamaica. So it took a little while, you know, to get into the swing of things.
Who did you hang out with? Were you like a theater kid?
You know, oddly enough, in Jamaica, I was a theater kid.
Were you?
You know, hung out with the theater kids and, you know, all the fun stuff that
The
comes with
drama.
that. The drama, yeah, all the drama, the dramatists. All the dramatists.
Yeah.
But when I came here, because it was a little difficult, I was 15 in a college setting.
Right.
It took a little bit, so I spent a lot of hours in the library.
No.
Every day
reading.
I would come to school and spend hours, most of my day in the library.
Wow.
So suffice it to say, I did very well at my
Straight A's, Mom.
straight A's.
Straight A's.
At a 4.0. Yeah, it was amazing.
No way.
So I spent a lot of time there, and then eventually got to know a lot of Jamaicans. They had an area in Miami-Dade called the Embassy, where a lot of Jamaican people hung out. So eventually I went to the embassy and hung out.
I love it. People of color always get a little spot on
Right.
the campus. Like, yeah, but go over there.
Yeah, go
You
to
meet
the
other
embassy.
people. You meet other people that look like you. Very nice.
Yeah.
So you left FSU with what were your dreams at that time?
So the plan A was to study business,
Okay.
International business specifically, and then pursue the arts, pursue my love, my drama, my acting. But I decided to come back home. I got cold feet, didn't want to move to LA or New York
Really?
at that time, and I came back home.
Tell the
and
truth. Were your parents very influential in that decision not to go to LA?
You know, by that time, they were a little more relaxed, a little more comfortable with me. All right, she's still following this acting thing. All right. So they had kind of gotten off my case by then, but I was afraid.
Yeah.
I honestly was afraid,
Wow.
and I came home and I decided to go back to school. I went to FIU and did a master's in international business. And I said, all right, well,
Excuse me.
I'm just gonna keep this plan A, keep working on the plan A until.
Yeah.
And then when I graduated from FIU, I was like, now I really have to,
Get a job.
or do this acting thing that I've been.
Wait. So when you finished, and I want another plate. I wouldn't come
Oh,
in
yeah,
with
oh,
another
you got
plate.
this.
So no, you eat. I have to ask them for another plate because I'm kind of hungry. But it's a beautiful thing that when you read about people like Lupita Nyong'o and her story of growing up in Kenya from Black Panther, big up all the actors and actresses from Black Panther. She talks about how she was very afraid to face that reality, that something else was calling her. She was very into her books and did good in school, but she always knew, what if? So that was an easy bridge for you to cross.
No, it was a difficult bridge. I remember my brother saying to me, "Hey, Andrew," I remember him saying,
"Big
to
up,
me,
Andrew."
He said to me one day, "You know, you're gonna have to go after this thing.
Wow.
God is not gonna just drop it in your lap."
No, you have to pursue it.
Oh, wow.
The food come.
Ooh, this looks
hungry,
amazing.
I'm not gonna even be bashful with you. So, hey.
Wow. We're gonna have to show them.
Hey, I was gonna say.
Till today, some steamed fish.
Steamed fish and okra.
Oh, gosh.
Oh gosh, I'm so excited. So we're gonna eat and talk, guys. I wish I could. Allow you see the steam?
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. I wish I could allow you. You didn't even touch the wings.
I know. We'll work it out.
We'll go. Extra napkin, please.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Fresh pepper?
Bring a couple. Bring a couple peppers for me. I'm afraid of spice, but I'm gonna try some today. All right, let me mind my manners. Let's Grace. God, we thank you for this moment. Thank you for this good smelling food and for all the people watching. Let the food be nourishment to our bodies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. So, wow. So tell me more about the decision making. So I was talking about Lupita and how she knew deep down, you know, before she applied to Yale and got into Yale School of Drama, that she had a gift. But the parents wanted her to be very serious about her studies and obviously get a real job. What was those conversations like for you internally?
Yeah, you know, I think after a while, or looking back now, I realized that I was just dealing with my own fear, because I realized that after I graduated from FIU with my master's and whatnot, and I kind of pushed into the business and started doing more theater, and I got involved with, you know, the M Ensemble and many professional theater houses here, and started doing commercials, etc. My family, they just opened up. They're like, "Oh, that's great," and they wanted to come see my plays, and they were so supportive. And I was like, "Oh my goodness! If I had known that they would have been this supportive, I probably would have made some other choices."
Wow!
But you know, hindsight is always 20/20. But it, you know, nothing happens by accident, and my path is my path, as you said.
Exactly.
And it was just the time for me to. I needed to do what I needed to do school-wise, and then make other decisions afterwards. So they were very supportive, and I just took a slower route. Again, I didn't move to LA.
Right.
I didn't move to New York because I had some other considerations that may still be fairs. But
thank you. Pepper, some napkin,
real pepper,
and let me read some comments in between. Food looks good, yes, Andrew, and it tastes nice.
Michelle James is my
Michelle
cousin
James.
and my husband.
Stop.
Hey guys, and my cousin.
So we're enjoying food at Island in the Pines restaurant.
Ooh, good.
It is in Pembroke Pines, Florida. Not Miami, Pembroke Pines. And it's at the corner of University and Pines Boulevard. All right. So I'm all about my theme. Suzette Speaks theme is chase the real you.
Right.
So I love when I see people who start out one way and decide this might be the expectation of other people or what I think other people, because even you didn't know that your family would have been cool with it, but you thought you had to do something of substance. So you decided, were you married yet when you decided to go full-fledged acting?
No, I wasn't married yet, because it was right after I graduated from FIU. I said, you know, I'm just gonna do it, and so I started to do it locally. I did a lot of theater and started the commercials, and like, you know, South Florida is a pretty decent town for film work and for TV work. It has dwindled in the recent years, but hopefully it will pick up again. So there were a couple good shows that came through here. You know, Burn Notice came through here.
Notice.
Glades came through here, and I got, you know, guest star roles on those, etc. So when my husband met me, he met me in that grind. You know, doing shows, plays, and I do some emceeing as well. And I was doing radio as well. That's another.
So we got a lot to talk about. So again, we're talking with actress, producer, radio host Stacy Rose, a Jamaican actress out of Miami, who has been doing some excellent work, as she just mentioned. So I want to take it to a point where we could talk about how, like, were you ever in a mode where you doubted that you would have success.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
I still struggle with that, to be honest. Since we talking,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Even 100.
Yeah, I still struggle with that because it's such a tough business, you know. I have had some pretty good successes, right? But there's so much rejection in this business that you really have to shore up yourself every single day.
Yes.
Every morning you get up, you have to say to yourself, this is me and this is what I'm meant to do, and I'm going to get up, I'm going to face the punches, and I'm going to get knocked down and keep getting up and keep moving
Absolutely.
because God has something in store for me. So that's a talk that I have to have with myself every day.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be this way. I thought, okay, once you decide that you're going to do this, everything, they tell you the universe is going to bend,
Line up.
flex, which it probably does. You know, my mom said something very interesting to me the other day. She said, lots of times we ask God for things and he says yes, but the answer doesn't come
Right away.
in the form
Right.
that we expected. So we expect that life is going to lay down for us, and life does not lay down for us in most cases.
Yeah.
We have to go out and fight, you know, and failure, I had to also learn that failure is good.
Part of the process.
Yeah, failure is good, just much like going to the gym. When you go to the gym and you have the resistance from the weights, it's to build you up, to make you stronger. And so the resistance of life builds you up and makes you stronger.
I think it's
So-
very, very true. I want to say hi to Douglas. Thank you for tuning in. Again, this is Suzette Speaks talking to Stacy Rose. And she's talking about her journey into acting. And I want to talk a little bit more about, like, what you just said was very powerful, because a lot of us are sitting at the precipice
Right.
of what we think we're supposed to be doing. And when your friends doubt you or your family doubt you, it's very hard to muster the conviction that it is going to work out. And a lot of times I think it's very frustrating, specifically for people who are in the non-traditional fields, where you don't have like a 1 degree and you just go and you know what your job is going to be.
Get a job and
Exactly. And particularly in the arts, particularly for what people are calling now creatives, people who are kind of in a different genre that doesn't really have a formula. They have to find a very unique path
Right.
to making money. So, especially among people of color, Caribbean people, people who think that you're supposed to be at a desk and punch a clock.
Right.
It can be very unsettling to see another human being want to do something that is non-conformist. So I really think it's a brave thing that you've done, and that you talk about that even now you still struggle. And I think all of us do, especially if we're chasing like a very large dream.
Yeah.
It kind of can seem very implausible at times and very daunting at times. But it's good that you have to remind yourself. Do you have people or quotes, or how do you keep yourself on track when you start to feel those doubts come?
Yeah, so it's a matter of, for me, I'm a Christian, and I find it is imperative that I start my day with God. You know, my days are rough, so I have to start my day with God. I have a routine, a devotional routine that I go through, and
Wonderful.
I also have affirmations that I say to myself every day. Because every day I find myself handing my life back over to God. I'm like, all right, God, you take the wheel. Jesus take the wheel.
Wow, amen.
Every single day, Jesus take the wheel.
Wow.
Jesus take the wheel. And it's not easy to do that, because some mornings I wake up and I'm like, all right, I gotta do it. No. I don't have to do anything except
God is doing it.
hand it over to God. And He
Amen.
hands it back to me, right?
Amen.
In the way that He wants to hand it back to me. So it's a process of sticking to that, because when I fall off track and I don't follow my routine, I have the days tend to be more challenging, right?
Yeah.
So I find that I have to stick to that and affirm myself every day, every morning. I look straight in the mirror, I have a thing that I say, and I affirm myself, and I say, shine, black girl, shine.
Hey,
And I
Black girl magic in the building. I know, I do it the same way. I think a lot of times, particularly people who look like they have it together, people don't believe that you have days where you really doubt, is it gonna be okay? You have days where you really feel like, oh my God, I don't know if this is all gonna work out. Maybe I should just go brush up my resume.
Yeah.
And I think it takes a lot of strength that we don't even really acknowledge and account for to keep pushing, even in the midst of like the bad days.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we are afraid to admit that in the human condition, we're not always happy. It's just days like that just aren't as happy as others.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we feel those lulls, those valleys, we think something is wrong.
Right.
But there's something that is to be learned and to be appreciated from having the lulls. We get to appreciate the higher points,
Right.
and get to really know that after a valley, you can come out of it.
Absolutely.
And there's a mountain. So what would you consider your first big break?
First big break. So I had little breaks, but the first big break, I think.
Tell me about the little breaks.
So every time for an actor, the job is to audition. That's our job. That's what we do. We
Yeah.
audition.
Right.
A lot of times people think it's the other way around. Acting is job. Well, our first job is to audition, and then when you book a job, that's the gravy. That's
So you're like
reward.
auditioning every week, or
Yeah, audition multiple times a week. I'm
Wow.
at that point now where I audition multiple times a week. And I don't, a lot of people don't realize as actors, we don't book that often. So you'll see us book something and we're on a show and you're like, oh, great.
you made it.
But you didn't see the 50 auditions that came before.
Wow.
Well, you didn't book any.
Wow.
And every day you have to get up and go out there like it's a first day of this great career, even though, for the last month you haven't booked anything.
Wow.
The last 2 months you haven't booked anything. So the little breaks, I think they're great. I celebrated every one of them. I think the
What
first
was your
thing,
first break?
yeah, the first thing that I just said, all right, was
Mama, I made it.
I booked a Honey Bunches of Oats commercial, a SAG National. Now, for actors, when you book there are different categories of commercials, but a union commercial that's national, meaning network, cable, wild spots, etc.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, right? So when I booked that, I was like, oh, Jesus, I love you. So that was, really amazing. And thankfully I've had a few others since then. So,
Honey Bunches of Oats, what did you do?
so in that commercial, I was sitting on a bridge, like in a car, and they stopped. I guess it was a drawbridge, and the drawbridge came up, and this woman walks around handing us bowls of Honey Bunches of Oats. And said, "Would you like to try it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I tried it. Oh, this is, one of those. And they're like, "Would you like to spit it out?" I was like, "No, They
like
didn't know
it.
I love Honey Bunches of
That's
Oats.
a good cereal.
For real.
That's a very good cereal.
So I ate my full of Honey Bunches of Oats that day.
So when was that big break where you feel like, wow, I got a huge breakthrough?
Well, I think the biggest break thus far has been Ballers on HBO with Dwayne Johnson.
Tell us about that show. All who don't have cable.
Yeah. So there's a show called Ballers on HBO, which centers on Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and his life after years on the field. So he is now reinventing himself and getting to all kinds of hijinks now that he's off the field. So I play his doctor, his neurologist. So it happens that he had some medical issues, some concerns after his time on the field, and he comes and he sees me in the first season, and then a relationship kind of develops from there, and he ends up coming to me like his counselor.
Oh.
So I did the first 3 seasons. They just shot the fourth season, and it's a great show. And to be honest,
You shot it here in Miami?
they shot the first season in Miami, and then they moved the production to LA. Right. So I shot seasons 2 and 3 in California.
Nice.
Yeah, which is, just an amazing experience. When I got the audition at first, I looked at the description, it didn't fit me at all. I was like, but often, a lot of times the descriptions don't necessarily match. But producers are still looking. They're not 100% committed to the description if you come in. So my rule is to always go to the audition. Actors, we always go, because you just never know.
Know what you might find.
Right. So I went and I did the first audition, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I forgot about it because that's my system. I go to an audition and I forget about it, because imagine.
That's a skill.
Yeah, having
Constantly.
thinking, oh, I wonder if no. So you go, you forget about it. I got the call back, which is the second audition. I was like, really? Are they sure? All right, whatever. I did it. Nah, forget about it. Then my agent called me and told me I was on hold. I'm like, on hold for what? On hold meaning they're interested. in you. Probably they've narrowed it down to maybe 2 or 3 people.
Wow.
So I said, for Ballers? What is a show? At that time, I was like, what is Ballers? I was in my automatic
Like, forget
thing,
about it.
so I didn't even really research. I didn't do anything. I just studied my lines and went in. So when she told me I was on hold, I decided to do some checking, and next thing I knew, I booked it. I was like, well, what is this show about? Who's in the show? I didn't even. So I checked, and there wasn't much information. It was a football show. Not sure what that's about. And probably 2 days before I showed up on set, I saw something about Dwayne Johnson. Like, is he an executive producer? I mean, is he in it? I mean, what's he doing in this show? And then that's a live TV,
Yes,
right?
again, this is Facebook Live. We're in a restaurant called Island in the Pines. Island in the Pines, Pembroke Pines on University Drive. And we're enjoying, are you enjoying your food?
I love it.
The
Love
steamed
it.
fish, okra, cabbage, plantain, rice and peas, escovitch chicken wings, pineapple ginger. I'm gonna probably finish mine before yours because I'm like in Jamaican heaven right now. My good food. Thank you, Island in the Pines.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you have kind of built up this kind of mental spirituality based commitment and fortitude based on the career you've chosen. That acting is not easy peasy.
No.
People want to be on TV so bad these days and don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes and how you have to go audition 50 times for one job or even more for one job.
Now, some people will audition one time and book it right away.
We're not, Rosario
Just-
Dawson. We're not Fandy Newton, Gabrielle Union, or any of these people. So, would you recommend somebody become an actress or actor right now?
Well, I don't even think you don't have a choice. I think everybody has a choice, but I think if you have a calling, right? And I think you don't decide on what that calling is going to be. I think God designs all of us for something. I think we have a gifting, and I think we have a calling. So for me, interestingly,
Go into that a little bit deeper.
well, I think
Some people have a gifting, some people have a calling.
In my estimation, from what I've learned, I do know that there are many of us who are gifted at many things.
Yeah.
Do a lot of things very well.
Exactly.
But I think there are also callings on our lives where God has said, this is one of the things that I want you to do. I've designed you for this. Although, a lot of people discuss it, do you have a specific will or a circular will? God, I'm not even going to go into all of that.
Permissive will.
Permissive, all these other things. But I just feel like God has certain things that He has imprinted on you. They're just some things that children gravitate to. I've always gravitated to the stage. My mom tells stories of taking me to plays, and I'd run away and I'd end up on stage. And the owner of this child, come on. That type of thing. I've just always had something in me that has drawn me to it. Right? I'm not sure if acting is my calling. I feel like radio more is a calling of mine, but I know that acting is a fusion, a calling, gifting type of thing. So I don't think I can get away from it. Many times I've said, I'm just gonna quit this and I'm gonna go do something else. There's something I just won't allow me to let it go. And I know there are people out there that have that thing that just won't let them go. And if it happens to be this business, don't give up, because I'm sure they said your gift will make room for you in the presence of kings. God has a path, a specific path that He's already etched out for you, and He's so many steps ahead of you that He's working behind the scenes on your behalf, and He's working it out. You just don't know. I don't even know. I'm like, God, okay, where are you going? Where are you taking me? He's taking you there. So the aim or the secret is never to give up. Just don't give up. Because you just never know. It goes back to what I was saying. God answers our prayers sometimes, and it comes in forms that we don't expect. And there's no way you're going to know if you sit back and you fold your hands and you say, well, it's supposed to come. Somebody's supposed to call me. No, it's probably never going to come that way. So you have to go out there and fight for it.
Absolutely. I'm looking at myself as I'm reading the comment, eating the food. Boy, you must think I'm greedy, bro.
Oh, snap.
I enjoy myself. Yes, they're saying hello. They're saying... Yes, your gift will make room for you. Somebody said the food look good, the food look healthy. Yes, we're enjoying some steamed fish with okra. and cooked on in nice vegetables, yam and pretty colors, colorful plate.
Yeah.
I'm like looking like a chewing monster. And I'm enjoying it. Thank you, Island in the Pines restaurant.
Yes.
So I love the fact that you're saying a lot in what you're talking about. What is gifting? What is calling? And I also want to talk about what you call your calling,
Right.
which is radio. And you've distinguished it from acting, which you said is both.
Right.
What distinguishes it? I think you described it already, but
Right.
I'd love to know what is it that is distinguishing that for you.
Well, I know my grind for acting, and I grind for it. I mean, I work for it. I get up every day and I fight for it.
Yeah,
For radio, I didn't fight for it.
it came to you.
It came to me.
Wow.
I feel like God said, "You come here." It was like that.
Wow.
And I said, "All right," because
You weren't expecting it?
I never thought about it. I fell into
Wow.
radio maybe about 18 years ago. I remember I moved here to the U.S. and I remember listening to a radio station, and I was looking for a job at the time. I was 15, 16, looking for a little part-time job.
Yeah.
And I heard them advertise. They're asking for, I think it was WAVS as a matter of fact, and it's a
Down here in
broker
South
station.
Florida, yeah.
So they had openings. I remember calling and saying, "Are you hiring?" And they said yes, and they talked to me a little bit about it and
Wow.
asked me how old I was, and I said I'm 16 or 17. It's like, okay, well, call
Them
back when you get a little older.
Wow.
But that was the first time that I felt drawn to radio. And fast forward about, maybe 5 years later, my pastor says to me one day, "Sister Stacy, there's a new radio station in town and they're looking for the young people, and I gave them your number, so just answer them when they call." I was
Wow.
like,
Thanks,
okay.
Pastor.
Pastor Jerry Gallenwood. And I did. And that was Trans World Radio. They're a global company. And I learned so much there. I went in, I auditioned, and I started doing these shows, and they're syndicated programs. So it wasn't even just like a local show. The programs that I was doing was being distributed in Russia and Africa and all these places. And I'm like,
Wow.
what is this? I would have never
Fell
known.
into your lap, literally.
I would have never known to ask for it. So I learned so much under the tutelage of Scott Hollinger and some other really amazing people who taught me everything I know about radio.
Wow.
And when the Caribbean Gospel Network was the name of that arm, when that arm closed up, they said to me, "Stacy, I was doing a show called Island Praise."
Yeah.
I started with Arnold Kelly and radio icons. So they said, "You want the show? Take it." I was like,
Hey.
what to
okay.
do with this show because they were moving, like I can't. So I sat looking at it. I didn't do anything with it for a few years until I had another friend that said, "Stacy, you need to produce this show." And I was like, "Well, you're gonna have to provide everything because I don't." He's like, "Sure, come. I'm at this station. I'm gonna get the airtime, and you just come and do the show." I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
Which I did,
Wow.
and that was about 2010 when I started doing it again.
Wow.
And now it's syndicated. It's heard in Malawi and Papua New Guinea and Tanzania and these amazing places. Just I think because God wants it.
Yeah.
So
Again, thank you guys for chiming in and saying hello. Again, we're so happy that you joined us. We're enjoying a nice lunch here. Sorry, we wish you could taste it and smell it.
It's so delicious.
Food is so yummy. Thank you again, Island in the Pines. And I'm talking with actress, producer, radio host, Miss Stacy Rose. And I love the fact that you're very open. Has there been a time where you heard God say something and you ignored it, or you ran away?
Well, so I've heard things. And one of my struggles is figuring out if it's God that's talking. Hearing and
I think a lot of us
understanding.
out there hear a voice and you
Yeah,
is that me?
Yeah.
Is that God? Well, who is that? Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, learning to discern that still small voice, to know that it's God speaking. So for me, some people say, "Well, I heard the clear voice of the Lord." I don't get that.
Me either.
He doesn't speak to me that way. He will open doors, and I'll find myself in situations, and I know it's Him, right?
Right.
I know it's Him saying, "Come this way," or "Go that way." And there have been times when I feel like He's opened certain doors and I haven't gone because of fear, because of I'm doubting. I start to second guess. I'm like, well, I don't know. It's just God. But as I get older, I realize, you can't live your life that way. You have to put your fork in the ground. You've made a decision. You've made a decision for me to follow Christ. I've given him my life. I said, all right, God, I'm going to need you to please take control, which is what he wants to do anyway.
Exactly.
And I want you to guide me and direct me. So when things happen in my life, I have a little more clarity now. I'm like, okay, God, this must be you, because remember we talked about this, and I asked you please to, if the door is not for me, close it. I don't even want to see the door. If it's for me, open it. It's as simple as that, because he knows I can't.
Exactly.
So, he's been gracious to me that way.
So it sounds like as you matured, you learn what's really me,
right,
and what's really him.
Right. I'm learning. Yeah.
That's very powerful.
Yeah.
Excuse me, bench. I'm enjoying this fish. It's hard to eat fish in front of people, guys, because they have a lot of bone. So I'm trying to look really dainty. But I hope you're enjoying the conversation. Again, I'm about chasing the real you, and I love that. Stacy is an example of that very, very concept, where your life can be looking one way, but by taking a leap of faith in something that is completely unexpected, you can totally get way more opportunities, meet more people, impact more lives in something that you did not anticipate, although your gifts made room for it. So that's a very good thing. So talk a little bit about the balancing of the home life and the work. I know there's a lot of controversy around, I guess still. I was watching Sanford and Son. I don't know if you guys watched this old show, Sanford and Sons, with Lamont and Pop, Red Fox. And I love the fact you can look back at some of these old shows. I like a lot of old shows and a lot of old TV. And you can look at the different social mores that people believe, just like in the 62, 72, and what they thought about women. And I watched one that was like maybe 1972, and I think it's on like TV One. And they talk about like whether women should work or not, and it's so amazing, the change in society in just 50 years or less. So I'm wondering, is your household a more traditional home where a person is expected to cook of a certain gender and wash and clean, or are you egalitarian more so where people kind of share responsibility? And was it easy to come to that?
Well, shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Warburton.
Hey.
I have Rita and Bernard Warburton who
You're in-laws. You're in-laws.
Raised a wonderful man.
Oh, wow. Shout out to
two
in-laws.
sons and 2 daughters.
Yeah.
2 wonderful men.
Wow.
2 amazing women. And I remember before I married my husband, I knew his sisters. So I hid at his house one day. I was just waiting for him to come home, and he wasn't home. So I hid at the house. His sisters hid me. And while I was there, his dad cooked fish for his mom, and he served her the fish, and she said, honey, could you take out the bone them for me? I don't like the bone. And he deboned the fish for his wife. I said, I need to be in this family. No problem, no stress. He said, all right. And he just took it, he deboned the fish and gave it back to her. So he cooked the fish, served the fish, after he deboned the fish. I said, I don't know.
Where they make men like that, yes.
So as I got to know him, I realized that his parents really took, especially his dad, took time to raise good men.
Wow.
They know how to cook, they know how to clean, they know how to do everything. So now being married to a man like that, I didn't have any worries about him knowing his role as a man. He understands his role as a man of the household. He knows his role. He does whatever he knows. He has stuff that he likes to do outside, and he's not opposed to doing things inside. So we work out a good balance. The things that I do, the things he does, and it's not like I have to do them.
Right.
Because if I don't do them, because I have a very busy life, he steps in. And where he falls short, I step in. He takes care of kids. He feeds them and he changes them. And if I have to travel, which I do a lot of my friends say, "You leave your kid?" I say, "Yeah, with their dad," and he's good. So thankfully, we've been able to
fix this for me. I can't see the comments.
Thankfully, we are able to share the burden and do it well.
So on a typical day, him sound perfect.
I'm not perfect.
Him sound perfect. No, he sounds kind of perfect. But first of all, I know a lot of people out there is like, where can I find a man like that?
Oh my God!
And so you didn't really have to have those tough discussions about who is in charge of what part of the household? Y'all really switch off like that?
Yeah, there are a lot of things to do. So occasionally we'll have discussion. I know there are things that he does well, so I kind of allow him to do those things. He he loves to do laundry. And I'm like, hey, have at it, son. I'm not gonna, he doesn't really love ironing. So, you know what I mean? So I don't really love ironing either, but I know if he's doing the laundry, then I'll try to, do my best with the ironing. So it's a give and take. It's just trying to work it out and, just to make it work.
All right, Steve says, come on, eat the fish before the fish eat you. What do you say, Steve?
Antoinette, yes.
Oh,
that's right,
I love it. You got my comments coming in. And I love the fact that you guys kind of like have that type of relationship that's a very aspirational.
Right.
I hope one day I'm that fortunate and I can find people that can help me to live in an egalitarian situation where the woman and the man give and take, and it's not just one side gets all of one responsibility. Right. You have people that they go home and they're expected to have dinner on the table by a certain time, both men and women.
Right. No, we don't.
And then you have other people that kind of get to some more room to take on the roles they enjoy, which I think is very important. Now, do you find that it's more difficult for you as a person of color in the film industry, or do you feel like we've come a long way and there is not that maybe less roles, but not that much discriminatory practices as far as getting opportunities in the film industry?
Well, we have come a long way, and things are changing and changing rapidly. I am on a journey myself, because I know where film and TV is concerned, black women, I used to think, and I still kind of think that I don't think America truly understands a black woman, right? So in the story, they're getting better now, because you have a lot of black writers who are writing for black women. But it was a time where you wouldn't find a black woman in a lead role on primetime TV, because it just didn't happen. And then you began
Chandra Rhimes.
Yeah, Chandra.
Gary Washington.
There you go. Black writers and producers.
Exactly. Writing our stories.
Right. So
of the people that they know and they love and they see.
Right.
Absolutely.
So it has gotten much better. So there are more opportunities now for people of color. I remember there was a time when you look at the breakdown. The breakdown gives you the description of the roles that are available for a project. And they would say Michelle Obama type. That was because before that you didn't see that,
right?
But she was in the public eye, so now
there's a type of woman.
There's a type
they're okay with.
Yeah, or it gave them a glimpse into black female life, because they were able to see a black woman in this role, and with her curls and her curves and her ways, they got to know us on a different level. So now they were able to incorporate that into the stories that were being told. So I was thankful for that. But one struggle, one challenge, I don't know if it's a struggle, it's a journey that I'm on. Yeah. So I'm a black woman, obviously.
Surprise.
I know, yeah. So, and I'm a black woman with kinky hair.
All right.
Now that's a whole nother conversation.
We're not
now
getting into the cream.
4C and B and
exactly.
D, what kind of... So my hair is a 4C. Well, no, they say 4C. I'm not really 4C. I don't even know.
4C is kind of like a curly, wavy. Yeah.
They go through. I'm not even on that chart.
You know your number of hair? 1, 2, 3.
I'm not,
ABC.
I'm not even on that chart, right? So for me, I don't come out looking with long hair or anything like that. So I found it a little challenging because, this is a superficial business. They want you to look a certain way. Exactly. But I don't wake up like that.
Exactly.
I don't have, my hair is more
stands up
like this.
Hello.
This is what, and I'm now able to embrace this. It has taken me a long time to get to the place where I'm okay with wearing my natural hair. Wow. Because before it was the wigs and the weaves, and I still wear them if the job requires. But I'm okay with looking in the mirror and saying, this is me. This is what God gave me. He said, God in his wisdom said, you know what? I'm going to make her with this type of hair.
And that sapodilla brown. Hey.
So it is a part of my evolution. I just have to embrace it. Right. So I now struggle because I don't know if Hollywood embraces it.
That's okay.
Way,
you do.
You
do.
So I'm trying to find the different styles, and I'm just learning. I'm honestly at this stage of my life just getting to know my hair.
Wow.
because I didn't know it before. As soon as you turn 10 or 11, you put in Jerry curl or wave nouveau or
leisure curl.
or so.
But
for
mine wasn't
years-
wet. Mine was dry.
Mine was a dry one.
No spritz.
No drip.
Just curl. No extra juice. Just
Right.
curl and dry pillow.
Right. Yeah.
So my.
So I haven't seen my natural hair in years, in decades. So now I was able to. I just took a plunge and said, you know what? I'm getting old. I have to know me. You know, I have to find me eventually. Especially in this business, you have to know who you are.
Antoinette says, "Girl, rock the kinks. I am loving all of it."
Now,
And the side shiny bumps.
now Antoinette is one of my. She is one of my natural hair divas that I just
turn
look
this
on
side
from
with
afar.
MC. Turn this side. Hey, shiny bumps. Now I know a lot of people say Bantu knots. I don't know what Bantu knots.
A shiny
I know
bump.
shiny bump. I'm not giving shiny people necessarily credit, but that's what we call it. So I love the fact that your husband allows permits
Yeah.
or
He's cool with it.
is cool with it. You kind of doing your thing.
Yeah.
As an actress, is he very supportive and like helping with the kids and all of that? Because I see people here that I don't mind cooking and cleaning. Thanks, Steve.
Oh, that's Andrew. Oh, that's my husband.
Lover.
My son.
Oh, Aiden is online. I
Oh,
love
my
it. They
goodness.
following their mom.
Yeah, hey,
Y'all got a good family. Hey guys.
Yeah.
You know, is that typical of people in your industry? Like, do you find a lot of married people having successful marriages? Because a big thing with Hollywood is them start out picture perfect and you're loving everybody. You know, everybody's consuming your relationship in the public.
Right.
But then oftentimes, because you're going to certain places, certain parties, away from home, etc., it puts pressure on the relationship. Do you guys have any of those issues ever?
Yeah.
Or have you had to like work through it?
Well, marriage itself is hard. I don't care what anybody says. It's hard. It's hard work, right? Very rewarding, but it's hard work.
I think grandma and grandpa lied to a lot of people.
They sure did.
And they made the marriage at 50 years and 60 years look good and easy and simple. And that you just stay in love and everybody just love. And what I'm realizing, marriage can be very, not only difficult in terms of like a bad thing, but stressful. I'm not
Are you not
married.
even
I'm not
married?
married. And I'm looking at all these people like, God? I don't know.
Before I got married, I think back now, and when we would talk, Andrew and I would talk to married couples, they would have this look on their faces, not a sad look,
Mad.
but not even mad. It's just now I understand the look, but at that time it was just a look that I couldn't identify. I was like, what is that? But they were happy for you.
Describe the look. What is the look?
It's just this like a glazed over look. Like I think if I had to put words to it, oh, you just don't even know. It's probably what they were saying in their minds.
Wow.
You know, and like my mother said, no mind the child, I will you day. you gonna learn today.
Exactly.
So now on being on the other side, I realized, oh.
So has it
I have
gotten
that same
better
look.
or has it gotten more?
No, it's not. No, I don't want to give you the wrong impression. It's not bad. You
Okay.
know. There's more good than bad. It's just, it's you with your own style and personality
Yeah.
merging with someone else. You know, so it's a lot of give and take, a lot of compromise, a lot of, you know, just taking the high road or the low road, or forgiveness, letting it go, choosing your
I don't like
battles.
it today, but I love you.
Yeah,
And
sharing.
I wouldn't want to tell you two bad word, but I'm not.
Yeah,
going
I'm
to,
not, you know.
because I love you.
It-
There's a lot of forgiveness. I realize
it's a
that.
lot. It's a lot of. It really matures you.
Absolutely.
And then there's an added element because for both of us, we're both Christians.
Okay.
So there's
that
a
helps.
third party.
If you guys have the same worldview,
Yeah.
religion or any kind of other belief,
Yeah.
that helps because I don't. Excuse me. Sorry.
It's crucial. It is crucial.
I see a lot of people end up in problems.
Yeah.
Because one believes one thing and another believes another
Right.
thing.
So we're on the same page where that's concerned, and we just happen to believe that God created marriage, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. It's an act of worship, and if you don't use you have to follow Whirlpool's manual for how to use their dishwasher. They made the dishwasher,
Oh,
so you
yes.
follow their manual. I think God created marriage, so we have to follow His manual, His plan for marriage. So following that manual gives you a greater chance of success,
of success.
you know, where marriage is concerned. So
So I love that the people are checking in. Hi, Lilith. She says she's here in Jamaica and she's enjoying and loving us. Thank you so much. I want to ask Stacy, before we talk a little bit about relationships, because I think that a lot of people are interested because they're in relationships. Talk a little bit about your radio show that you do here in South Florida. I think a lot of people hear you who are in Miami, here in Fort Lauderdale, hear this other side of you. Talk a little bit about that concept and what it's about and what you enjoy most about it.
So the show I've been doing for over 10 years is Island Praise, a Caribbean gospel music show, and it's syndicated. So I actually do 1 hour of that 2-hour program here on WABS on a Sunday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So that's Caribbean gospel music, music, talk, interviews, that type of thing. Very fun, light. And then on Saturdays, I do a show called the Love Doc and Girl Power Radio Show, which is a mixture. It's a variety show of sorts. I co-host with Dennis Grant, Dr. Dennis Grant. They call him the Love Doc. So
if you're in South Florida, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so he's all about love music. So it's, oldies, lovers rock, just classic, feel-good music. And then we, spice it up with a little more up-tempo type stuff as well. And it's just about the music and connecting with the community. So we do that here on Saturdays, and then the gospel show on Sundays.
Okay, very good. So that teaming up to do Girl Power, tell us about the theme of your show. What I love about it is that it's encouraging. So talk about what Girl Power is about and how people find it if they want to listen to it who might not be in South Florida.
Right. So, the whole concept of Girl Power started with my friend Tanya Fenton. They call her Tanya A. She's also a radio personality on WBS, and we used to be co-hosts on the Saturday show. She's gone on to bigger and better things.
I love it.
Right. So, just women. I think we're so powerful when we get together.
And you was doing it before me too.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah.
Which I love.
You're just so powerful when we get together. So we were looking for an avenue, some way of helping women to live their best lives, to realize their best selves and live their best lives. So we found that radio was a great avenue to do that. So we're able to connect with a lot of women and give voice to a lot of issues and situations, female-related situations in the community. So we just started that on radio, and it continues. Wow. So we have a lot of plans for other things that we
You have a website for it, or when people can check it out?
I know it's developing into that now, because originally it was just really grassroots.
You're
just in our day-to-day.
I just wanted to do it.
Yeah, and what we were doing in our communication with our clients and people who we interfaced with on the radio. Mm-hmm. So it was really honed in there, but now we're taking a larger and broader view and doing the website and get everything together to have more of a global view.
Yeah, so now you've created a platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start local, go global.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Absolutely.
What are some of the most powerful life lessons you've learned, whether it be through acting, whether it be through radio hosting? Are there things that you wish you could tell your younger self, or people out there who might be struggling with something similar that you've gone through?
Right.
Are there any good lessons that you wish somebody had told you, or that you're glad you learned from along your journey?
Absolutely. And I've been thinking a lot about this recently. Number one, I'm learning, and I don't know how comes I missed this before. For me, I serve a big God. Like, the God who, he put the sun, he designed everything, right? So I limit God so much. In my mind, I say, okay, well, I'm dealing with this, and it's almost like I feel like God is not aware.
Right.
And I've learned through situations and circumstances that God is aware, and he's many steps ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I can't spring anything on him. He already knows.
Yeah, he's not surprised.
He's not surprised. He knew I would come this way, and he's already made provision for it. So a lot of times I would say, I don't know if I should, I don't know. No. The fact that I've already given the life to him. Right. If I'm thinking about it, chances are it's something that he's placed inside of me.
Yeah,
Do it.
I believe that.
So for a long time, I hesitated about a lot of things, and I don't know, God. I don't know. No. God is ahead of you. He is many steps ahead of you. Stop second guessing. Stop, hesitating. Do it.
Yeah.
Get up and do it. And that's easier said than done.
No.
Because I struggle with that still.
No, it's a matter of faith.
Yeah, it really is a matter of faith.
And I've struggled with that.
Yeah.
Plenty. because it can get so difficult when you see what's in front of you.
Right.
You see your bills.
Like,
You
this
see all
doesn't
the
make
other
sense.
things, and then you're like, everything's gonna work out,
Right.
wonderful, and it doesn't feel that way. So that's a very powerful lesson.
Yeah.
I do want to just say hi to everybody online.
Yeah.
I love this.
Hey, Rochelle.
Rainforest says, love you, Stacey.
Kentucky.
Tuning in from Kentucky. Wonderful.
love Rochelle.
Hi, guys. Xavier's loving the
Xavier.
discussion on marriage.
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
I'm taking notes, Xavier, because I need to know what's real and what's not real.
Now,
And,
I heard Xavier's a good man now.
Is he?
I know his daddy. Good man now. All
All
right.
right, we're gonna be looking into that. Looking into that. I do want to talk a little bit more about career change, career paths for people who are out there who want to do acting. What would be the best way to get into it? If you think that might be your calling, that might be your love, but you don't have any professional training, or you've done a little something locally.
Right.
How do you springboard to get to the HBOs and to get to some of the other opportunities?
So this career is a craft, right? It's like a trade. You learn best when you're working in it, right? There is a lot to be said for formal education, absolutely. But if you're right now watching me like, this is what I feel that I'm supposed to do, get involved with theater. I started in theater. I think theater actors I think the training that you receive in theater is priceless. You get one shot. If you're on stage, there's no do-over.
Nope.
There's no pause. There's no, no. You have to think and be present and perform right away, which equips you when you get on set. When you get on set, you have to, theater actors, we probably get a little lazy because you can stop, you can start over.
So one take.
One take. So if you're listening and there are so many regional theaters, so many local theaters that you can get involved with. Find them, call them up, go audition. It may not come easily. It may not get cast the first time, but again, we've talked about this. Failure is a part of it. Embrace it. You'll learn from it, and then from there are lots of workshops that you can do, acting workshops. There's so many, but you have to get into it first. Start looking for those theaters and start looking for those websites. Here in South Florida, there's some great resources available. There's one group, I forget the name, Casting Networks, Actors Info Booth. They give you information about how to get into the business. So first and foremost, look for a theater. Look for a local theater. Call them up. Go audition. Even if just to try for the first time, go do it. See if you like it. You might realize, oh,
It's not for me.
This is not for me. But you're never gonna know unless you go try it. Right?
Absolutely. So tell me what's hopefully in your future. What do you hope to accomplish? Where would you like to be? Are you gonna stay in Miami? Do you want to go to LA, like where everybody else is?
Right.
Where do you see yourself in the next, or I guess 2 to 5 years?
So I recently started producing. Yeah. So one of the things, I guess that was just something else welling up inside of me, because there are stories that I want to tell, and I got a little tired of waiting around for people to call me for work, right? So I met some really cool people on a set years ago, and the way I got on that set was just God already, right? You know, it was in the Bahamas, it wasn't even here, and I met some people there, and we were like-minded, and we said, you know what, we're gonna produce something one day, and we did. So we did our first film called Break the Stage. That's in post-production. It has been a baptism by fire because we didn't have, lots of people with great experience.
Know what producers do, explain what a producer does.
So we work behind the scenes from concept to creation of a story. So from choosing an idea, finding the story, getting the script written. Sometimes you may even do a book, and then choosing crew and casting and getting the film or TV show produced and then distributed. We do that whole cycle. So so it's not easy at all. Nothing is easy, but it has been tremendously rewarding. I've learned so much in the process, and it's freeing. It's empowering to know that. Okay, well, if there are stories that I want to tell about my experience, about the Caribbean experience, whatever, there's a formula, there's a way to get it done. So we produced 2 films already, and we have several other projects in various stages of production. And I think I'm going to spend a lot of my life
time
doing
doing
that,
that. That's
right, and
wonderful.
creating my own work, and of course working mainstream as well. And that, when I produce, will probably help me to stay here in Florida. I have young children, so
Yeah.
I love LA and I go to LA all the time.
Yeah.
I just haven't had that freedom to move up with my family,
no.
because my mom is here and my in-laws, and I love seeing my children with their cousins and all of that. So I don't know, I'm trying to work that out. But if I can produce and stay here
Right.
and produce film in Florida,
Right.
why not?
Good work. Good work. Well, you can tell. I don't know if you can see my fish. I
Oh,
can
man,
know that Stacy hasn't eaten a thing, and my fish is halfway the top part. I know under the bone we can get with after. But I'm really thankful that you stopped on by. I'm gonna let you eat
Absolutely.
your food. Continue to leave comments. We want to introduce you to a very, very interesting group of people that we have here in South Florida. And this woman has shown how dynamic, coming out of Jamaica, coming and starting a whole new life, going to college in Florida, and kind of blossoming from a set path of business to acting is amazing. So I just really want to thank Stacy Rose.
Oh, thank you.
For stopping by and chatting with me and chatting with all of you. And if you have any comments or people that you want to see, I really would love for you to give your feedback and let me know other interesting people I can interview here in Miami and around South Florida. But as you can say, she has some fish to deal with right now, so I'm going to allow her to enjoy. We've been on for quite some time, so just want to say goodbye to all of you watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave your comments, and again, we will see you on next Saturday. And I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. Be blessed. Again, Suzette Speaks.
And I also want to say before we go,
No.
congrats to you as well, and
Thank
for the
you.
great work that you're doing. This is so amazing.
I appreciate
and
it.
It's not. This is so necessary.
Absolutely.
That we talk about
Exactly, and
what's happening.
representation
Absolutely,
matters. So
absolutely. So
I
keep
want
up
to
the
bring
good
you.
work.
Thank you, Mama. I really want to bring you good conversation that you can learn from other people's journeys and experiences, and hopefully it inspires you. So thank you again for watching. I'm Suzette Speaks, and I will see you guys again soon. Take care.
Bye bye.